This is Mike Brewer behind the wheel. Automotive news, automotive advice, and tyre smoking fun. Join me, the Brit with the wit, and my car-loving co-host, Brad Fanshaw. Hello everyone, it's Mike Brewer behind the wheel, and I'm looking forward to taking you on a journey of motoring, expertise, fun, facts, and all the stuff that we embrace ourselves with, this wonderful hobby that we love, the classic car and motoring world. Now, together, we are going to go down this journey, but the man who always grabs the passenger door, and I do like travelling with him because he's always got the best snacks, he always shouts shotgun whenever I'm hitting the road, is my passenger, and he seems very willing. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brad Fanshaw.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm all right, Brad, yeah. Ready for the journey?
I am. I'm always looking forward to these because you take us to the best places.
Anyway, let's hit the road.
Let's go.
So we're out on the road again with my good buddy, Mr. Brad Fanshaw. It's nice to have you sat beside me again, Brad.
I know, it's great. I've been in the rest area waiting for you to get here.
Have you missed me?
I have.
Do you know, I've been pining. I've been pining for you and for our lovely audience because I've been all the way over to the other side of the world. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, and I apologise to the audience out there if we missed maybe one podcast because some people have been saying, where were you last week? But we give you a little highlights reel to spoil them. But no, I've been very, very busy. What have you been up to while I've been away?
Gosh, I've been really busy because I've been editing shows.
Yeah.
And I've also been working on my wheel company, of course.
Yeah.
And getting ready to drive some other cars. You know, we got the word, I know you did and I did, that we're going to be driving that McLaren coming up here.
We're going to be driving the Senna.
I know. That's in the fall.
That's in the fall. We're driving the Senna. We got a name down to drive the Senna.
I know. That's
but
amazing.
We've also got a 720S coming, which I'm very excited about. So it's been...
And you got it for 2 weeks also?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I got it for a month, Brad. I don't know what you negotiated.
They told me not to say because I'm supposed to have it till the summer, till I get the Senna. So,
wouldn't that be nice?
Hey, you know what,
lovely?
though? I saw that the lifestyle and automotive journalists in New York last week,
yeah,
they got to drive it for 2 blocks. So we're making out. We have it for like 3 days.
Is that what they got? Oh, I'm so going to video every moment of me in that car just to make them jealous. Hello, audience. Sorry we haven't been here, me and Brad. We have been very busy. But we're back, and we're going to keep these as regular as we possibly can. But I'm just going to fill you in with what I've been up to, really. I've been jumping on planes left, right and centre. I left LAX with my lovely wife, Michelle. We headed back to the UK. We landed, went and changed over a suitcase, then we jumped back on an aeroplane and we went to Milano, Italy. Italy. Now, I think, I've said this to you before, I've always thought the worst drivers in the world have got to be the Italians. I mean, if you've ever been into Rome or anywhere like that, Rome is crazy. I mean,
did you go through any of the roundabouts?
Yeah, I mean, I've done all of that, right? It's crazy. But no, when I landed in Milano this time, it was still kind of crazy, but I still think it's much safer than California.
Really?
Right off the bat, I had to get that off my chest, yeah.
But we don't even have any roundabouts to go through.
Don't have no roundabouts, but everyone drives at 100 miles an hour here on their cell phones, texting and brushing their hair, putting their makeup on, reading their newspaper. There was a lady the other day, she had an iPad on her steering wheel, plus she was FaceTiming on her cell phone, and we were doing, I don't know, about 80 on the freeway, and she was on 2 devices at once. I mean, fair play. I mean, she can multitask, that woman, but do it safely. So we went to Italy, Milano, which is the fashion capital of the world.
Yes, it is.
I had Mrs. Brewer with me, but so I conveniently forgot my credit card. See what I did there?
She didn't come back with any couture?
See what I did there? Did you see what I did there? Sorry, Mish. I left my credit. I forgot it. I forgot my credit card. But we had the most amazing time. I was there to promote the name of a network. There's a big network name change coming up, and to promote that television series I do.
Now, did anybody recognize you there? Because I saw you on your social media that just nobody wanted their photo with you, Mike.
It's kind of crazy. Italy is it's brilliant. I mean, Poland, Italy, here in America, and obviously in the UK, but in Italy, it was kind of crazy. You know, the moment I got off the aeroplane, I walked through the, and this is not the first time I've been doing this. Has been happening for years, but it's the first time I think my wife experienced it. I got off the aeroplane, walked through the concourse to go to the passport control booth, and I was first off the plane. So I've got 300 people behind me, literally all walking in a line, and the 4 passport officers see me walking towards them, left their boxes, got together and couldn't care less for the aeroplane. They just wanted selfies and pictures. So it started there, and then it continued. And wherever we went, when we pulled up at the hotel, there was people waiting to get their pictures with us. When we left the hotel in town, it was so strange. I went into town. There was this busker. You may have seen the video on the internet. There was this busker, and he was playing Hotel California, the Eagles.
Yeah.
And he was just absolutely mesmerizing on the guitar. And he was playing the guitar, and I sort of give him a little round of applause at the end. And I looked up. He looked up from his dark sunglasses, and he see me and went, "Oh my God, Mike Brewer!" And of course, he shouted my name out, and he had a microphone on. So the whole of the Milano Square, the Piazza next to the Galleria, everyone just went, "Oh my God, it's Mike Brewer!" So I just got mobbed right there in the town square, almost like I was some kind of cardinal or somebody important. It was kind of weird. It was very, very strange, very flattering. I'm incredibly flattered, and it was so nice to meet so many amazing people. Whilst I was there, we had to do quite a bit of work. So the network that I work for, the television network, you all know it and love it.
They had you on an agenda?
They had me on a very tight agenda, of course. That's going to go through a name change. And I'm not here to, on this podcast, this is the other side of Mike Brewer. I'm not here to promote Wheeler Dealers or Velocity or Motor Trend, but that's why I was there. So we went to announce, basically, the name change from Velocity to Motor Trend that's happening in Italy. I found out some really exciting news whilst I was there. It's fantastic news. I'm so honestly, I was beaming. We've already got a version of my show in France. So you got Wheeler Dealers in France, Wheeler Dealers here in America, obviously, and across the rest of the world. So there's a French version. We have a French Mike and a French Ant.
Now, let me ask you. So they do voiceover and they dub it in French?
No. That show exists as well. So there's me and Ant on the show in France, and they dub it, but they have their own version of the show as well.
Okay.
With two hosts that are French guys, and I know them. They're Jerry and Aurelian. They're lovely guys, and I'm sort of the godfather to their Wheeler Dealer garage. I pop in every now and then and go and see them. In fact, I'm going back this summer. I'm going back to go and appear in another one of their episodes because I've asked them to buy me some cars. So I'm going to buy a car off them. But whilst I was in Italy, the show in Italy, by the way, is Affare da Quattro Rotte.
Of course it is.
Affare a Quattro Rotte, which I think means deals on four wheels. Or
I knew there was a four in there because I heard quattro, and I know that.
Affare da Quattro Rotte. So whilst I was in Milano, they told me, Discovery Channel, whilst I was there, that not only they changing their name to Motor Trend, and congratulations, I think that's a great move, but also they've now commissioned their own Wheeler Dealer Italia. Affare da Quattro Rotte Italia.
Congratulations. That's great.
Yeah. So the brand is now expanding. We're now going to have a Italian version of Mike, an Italian version of Ant. They've also got another character in it as well. I've had a look at the sizzle reel. In TV industry, we put together a tester reel to see what it's going to look like. And the sizzle reel looks really good. It looks very authentic. It looks exactly like it is. He really is a car dealer. He really is a mechanic. They really do go out and buy and flip and sell cars. And it's under the banner of Wheeler Dealers. So this show is forever expanding. And there it is, picking up new territories around the world. Even though we've got the original version in every territory, now every territory seems to want their own native version. And that's incredible. I'm so proud of it because I feel like the father of Affare da Quattro Rotte.
Yes, they're all coming out of Mike's original. Yes. Well, I can't wait till you have to tell us about the name of the one in Chinese.
See, I nearly had you there. So that was absolutely incredible, an amazing experience being out there in Italy. Thank you if there's any Italian fans that are listening in. Thank you for being so gracious, so very humble, and so very kind to both me and Michelle. We drunk quite a few cocktails.
Good for you.
We drunk quite a lot of coffee. My wife is a coffeeaholic.
Yes.
We had amazing time in the hotel at night, just the pair of us. It was like going away for a little romantic break. wasn't it? It was lovely. It was nice to spend some time alone with Michelle. So thank you, Italy. I loved it. But then we jumped back on a plane, went back to the UK, back to my home turf, to my home territory. I do genuinely kiss the tarmac when I get back off the plane.
Good.
Like a Pope, a cardinal.
Now, do you fly into Heathrow when you come back?
Well, it depends where I'm coming to and from. But yeah, when I'm flying from LAX to England, it's always back into Heathrow Airport. Very smart airport now. This is a 22nd century airport, Heathrow Airport. It's got amazing new terminals. The whole system works flawlessly. The check-in desks aren't like traditional check-in desks. They're sort of booths. You walk up to a booth, you throw your case in, and then you walk around the back. It's kind of it's much more informal. And Heathrow Airport is a fabulous state-of-the-art airport with amazing shops, restaurants, bars. It is very, very good. Dare I say, Milano Airport is equally. It's like walking into a huge fashion arcade. It's amazing. So yeah, that was nice. But when we landed back into London, there was no rest, straight in a car, and we went to the headquarters of Discovery in the UK, which is in Chiswick, where we did the press and promotion for the new series of my show that's now playing in the UK. And we did a lot of press and promotion there. We did some live as well, which was great. We did some video live at the studios, and we took a lot of interaction in from the audience, and that was really good to do. You were missing. I just need, because I was doing live and I had a microphone. I was thinking, I kept looking to my left and to my right, thinking,
where's Brad?
Where's Brad? Brad should be here. But you were missing.
Now, for our U.S. people, the shows that have already aired here, is that what is now being recut and shown in the UK, or how's it work?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the show airs here in the US first, and I think that's I get the blame for that. Somehow the audience out there tend to
why do they get to see it first?
Yeah, why do they get to see it? They tend to think that I'm the controller of Discovery Channel globally. I'm not. I'm just a guy that works on a car show.
Hey, I've seen his salary. If it was that, you'd be you'd be set.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, no, I don't get no control over it. They're the overseers. No, we don't get any say in that. But no, I think the way it works contractually is where the show is made in its native territory. It gets to air the series first, and then it gets replayed everywhere else in the world. And for 13 years, it was played in the UK, and the rest of the world had to wait, like the US had to wait. And just for the last 2 seasons, that's all. The last 2 seasons, America gets it first, and the UK get it after. The first season, it was a few months. Which was a bit difficult, and I don't know why they made that decision. Whoever the controller was needs to have a chat with me about that, because that didn't go down well on social media and with the fans. But this time round, we're still airing the shows here in the States, but it's already playing out in the UK. And they started it with a double bill episode with the Jeep Grand Wagoneer and the little Alfa Romeo Spider. So they did a double bill, and we're almost caught up. The shows are just a couple of weeks apart. So that's much better. It's much better for us as well globally, because this is a big global series. And when I'm tweeting a picture of a finished car or posting a picture of a finished car, I don't want to blow it and ruin it in the rest of the world.
Because now it's global. When you tweet or go on Instagram, that is to the world. It's not just to your fans in California.
No, exactly right. In fact, I'm going to tell you a little bit about... let me tell you a little bit about social media. Just the last couple of days, blooming odd. People are. Should we go there?
Yeah, let's go there, because I saw what was happening from my side, and we all live it, but not as much as that. That was concentrated. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I've suffered sustained abuse on the internet for the last couple of years, since Ed China decided to quit the show. For some reason, I got the blame for that, because Ed threw me under the bus, I think. As simple as that, and he threw the show under the bus. And there was no need to do that. I mean, just be gracious. You left, you want to do something else. Good luck, and I wish him all the best. But for some reason, I got complete blame for that, and for the last couple of years, we've suffered everything from, threats of rape and abuse and death threats. I've had all kinds of things. Not rape on me, by the way, but on my family. I get cancer wished on me a lot, which is a strange one. Anyway, so that's that. Being in the public eye, you can deal with that. But yesterday, I took a very innocent picture of it was a C5 Corvette that I was looking at.
The little paddle switches.
Little paddle switches, yeah. And they're little paddle switches. One of them said GAGE. So the U was missing out the word gauge, and I took a picture and I just said I need to teach our American friends how to spell gauge properly, and that on Facebook, not on Twitter, but on Facebook, sustained abuse. I mean, it was kind of, I will find you and shoot you kind of abuse.
And this was all in fun. It was tongue in cheek.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was
Not only that, I'm not the one that misspelt the name. I'm just the guy that took a picture of it. So there was I'm not taking the fun out of it. I was just simply stating a fact that, this word is spelt wrong, and I thought it was funny. And lots of other Americans go, yeah, it's just ridiculous. They've saved money by not printing the U.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like the U's missing in colour. So the U's missing in gauge, or gag, as they now spell it. So, yeah, I mean, the abuse from it meant I had to pull down a post, just because I can't seem to do the right thing but the wrong thing. So I might take a social media sabbatical. I am thinking about it because it's just ridiculous. I'm just a normal guy, repairs cars and loves what I do. And now if I have to think about every single moment of my life on social media, am I doing the right or wrong thing, or how's this going to be perceived? A picture of a picture of a button that's misspelt, not by me, by the way, misspelt by Chevrolet. Somehow I got the blame for that, so I don't get it. So yeah, whoever those people are that abuse me and said those nasty things, switch over, turn over, unfollow, disappear. We're just not interested.
Well, that's the thing. It's when I look at it, I see two things. One is that it's fun. This is a hobby. Yes, for you and I, it's a business, but for the majority of people, it's a hobby. It's something to have fun with. And if you can't look at things lightheartedly, then you're not enjoying what you're doing or what you're participating in. And if you think that going online and abusing people, this happens a lot. And we see it with kids.
Yep.
We see it with adults.
Yep.
We even see it in comments about our show
Yep.
or the other podcasts that I do. It's kind of like when I was brought up, I was said, it was, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
Yeah.
And, there's a little bit of this and that. You can always criticize, but you know what? When people are having fun, and what you were doing there is that
Having fun.
Exactly. And you didn't abuse anyone. You didn't say those big dummies at Chevrolet, they're just blockheaded Americans, which would have been in line too, because It would have been in fun. But you didn't even say that. You just said something nice. You stated a fact and had fun with it. But people, they all want to be heard, and they all feel empowered by the internet. And you know what? The internet's been incredible for getting this word out. It's been incredible for growing the car world and the whole car hobby, but it has also turned over rocks and brought out the ugliest Americans, ugliest Europeans, ugliest in the world because of this. And that's what's got to stop. And you know what? I put it back on the other listeners. If you see that, then you should go on and not abuse that person, but go, hey, buddy, if you got a problem with that, we don't really want you part of our community, because we're trying to enjoy the car world, and we're trying to enjoy what Mike's doing and what Ant's doing and Brad and every other person who brings this to our living rooms and our radios.
Amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me step down off my apple crate here.
Yeah, that was good, Brad. I was sitting there. I'm sort of, oh, God, I got beads of sweat coming down from my brow. That was amazing, Brad.
It's one of those things where, I talk to people, and they come up to you at shows, and they're so enthusiastic because they live what we get to do for just maybe an hour out of every week if they're lucky.
Yeah.
We get to live it, and so they're so excited. Then when there's one bad apple, because what you just said, that's what got me going, is that you're thinking you got to take a respite from social media, which is going to empower that person who did something bad and really harm all the great people who love to hear you.
Exactly right. No, you are exactly right. I don't think I'll be taking a sabbatical, but I feel like it. Little things like that make me feel like it because they hurt. These little things.
Sure.
But anyway,
I want to say it again though, Mike. People, if you see that, support.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, and do it by telling the person who did it, go, that's not cool. don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want that on a T-shirt. That's not cool. Don't be a dick. I want that on a T-shirt. Very good. So, I mean, this is a very strange world that we live in. Everyone's in contact with each other. I mean, who would have thought I'm a guy that makes a car show, but you can actually have a direct conversation with me on social media anytime you like. It never has the members of the public been that close to people in the public eye as they are now. And I think people need to respect the fact that, sometimes, I'll tell you that, and this isn't a rant about social media, by the way, we will talk about cars. Sometimes somebody asks me a question, like could be a question about this show.
Yeah.
Somebody might say, when's the next podcast on, Mike? And I may have got just on the aeroplane, switched my phone off, and they asked me that question. And then 11 hours later, I'll switch on my phone, and then I get sustained abuse from that same person going, how dare you not answer my question? I watched your programme, sister. I'll never watch your programme again. I can't believe I've had to wait 5 hours, and you still haven't got back to me. Do you realise I've been in the air for the last 11 hours? That happens. That happens to me all the time.
Now, you just hit a nerve with me, because what I've found in the podcast and in my wheel company, people can reach you so many different areas. That's part of the problem. They can message you on your page on Facebook.
Yeah.
They can private message you on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, text, all these different areas. And I have literally lost messages where it pops up on your screen. And like you said, going into a meeting or you're doing something, and then you go back and you go, where the hell was that?
Yeah.
And then they get angry with you. And it's so we've, like in our business side of things with wheels, we tell our customers, if you're a customer, we'll try and get back to you, but the only guaranteed place is an email.
Yeah.
Because if it's about a large purchase of a set of wheels, we don't want to conduct it anywhere else because it can get lost.
Yeah, of course it can. Yeah, of course it can. You're right, though, Brad. The car community should come together for moments like this. And I love what I do. I love my job. I love the people out there, the car community out there. And I think, I don't know any bad car guys. Barry Maguire once said that to me. He said, do you know any bad car people? And I said, actually, no. But I am starting to, as you say, you unturn a rock on the internet and they do pop out. So
but that Barry Maguire guy, I mean, have you ever seen him smiling?
Oh, he knows how to smile. He's the happiest man I know.
He is.
He really is. He's a lovely, lovely fella. Right now, let's get back to cars. So, Brad, when you walk into a shiny car showroom, right, here in America at the moment, by the time you hear this weekend would have gone. This is what they call Memorial Day weekend. So the TV networks are just full of commercials about go and buy a car. Go and buy a car. You can go and get your F-150 pickup truck for $99 a week. I mean, it's just
you can get a rebate.
And you can get a rebate on your couch. Bring your couch in, we'll give you a $5,000 rebate on it. I mean, it's just crazy for car commercials at the moment. But when you walk into that shiny car showroom to go and buy your car, do you know who actually owns the company that you're buying from? So if you're in a Buick dealer and you're going to buy yourself a Buick, who do you think owns Buick? If you go and buy a Jaguar, who owns Jaguar? If you go and buy yourself a nice little Lincoln, who owns Lincoln? Do you know that?
Well, Mike, I used to think I did. I used to think that, if I was buying, any of those brands that you said, it was
the brand.
That was the brand. It was a Ford, or it was a Chevy, or it was a Lexus. Lexus is a really good example. It's an offshoot
of Toyota.
Yeah, they said we want a luxury brand, but a lot of people that aren't studying this and looking at it, they really don't understand that it's part of Toyota.
Of course they do. Right. So
just like Daihatsu.
Daihatsu, yes. Do you remember them? Blimey. They were good in the day.
Yeah.
Charade and 4-track. Great little cars. Right. So there are 54, Brad, 54 car companies, right, on this piece of paper. 54. How many companies own the 54 car brands? So there's 54 car brands, and I'll give you a few of them. Acura,
that's
Honda, Rolls-Royce, Mini, Audi, Kia, Chevrolet, Holden, Jaguar. We've got a real mixture. 54 brands. How many companies do you reckon own those 54 brands?
Well, that's a lot of brands, and we're talking worldwide.
We are
global presence.
We are talking worldwide.
So it's What, in half maybe?
25. You're going to say 25.
Yeah, I mean, that would be reasonable.
How about if I was to say it's just 14 companies?
What?
14 companies own 54 brands.
Okay, we're not talking about car companies anymore. We're talking about cartels.
We are. They are. That's exactly right. They are cartels.
Yes, cartels.
I see what you've done there. I want that on a T-shirt as well.
There you go.
I want that on a T-shirt.
I'm part of the cartel.
Yeah, with a picture of Pablo Escobar on a machine gun. That's what you want on a T-shirt.
Well,
Cartel.
or just his head sticking out of a Camaro. So
Absolutely perfect. Let's just go for a couple of them. There's some real big ones on here. So GM, okay, so GM, huge company. They own Chevrolet, Holden, Vauxhall, Cadillac, Opel, GMC, Wuling Motors. I've never even heard of those.
Walling. I think that is a
Motors,
Chinese company.
Baojun and Buick.
And I've never heard of Baojun.
Well, they're probably made in the Far East. But there you go. That's one company, GM, own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 companies.
And what's amazing are some of these even have sub-brands.
Yes.
They own a company that owns a bunch of other companies.
Some good eye-openers here as well. Volkswagen. We know that Volkswagen have got Volkswagen, obviously. But
that one's amazing.
That's amazing. Audi, Seat, Skoda, Bugatti, Bentley, Volkswagen, Lamborghini, and, of course, Porsche, all owned by Volkswagen.
Do you think they have that luxury sports market kind of cornered there?
I think they've got it all cornered, haven't they? I can't think of another car that you could think of that they haven't covered. They've got everything covered.
How long before they own Ferrari, do you think?
Well, now we're talking at the top of the of our little chart here. So Ferrari owned by Ferrari, Maserati, Alfa Romeo and Lancia are owned by Fiat, and I do believe they own Ferrari as well, don't they? Fiat.
I thought they did, but they're not listed on
They're
here.
not listed. I'm sure they do.
I wonder if it's part of their thing. They have to stay independent. They've always had certain little...
I'm going to tell you this, right? This is a true story, and no doubt the guy is listening to this. I hope he is. Me and my wife and our business partner, we owned a very sizable production company for many years, and we used to do lots of car commercials and lots of car stuff for manufacturers. We used to do all the internal videos for Jaguar, Land Rover, Mazda, Citroen, you name it. We did it all. I had Ferrari come and meet me one day and asked me to shoot a commercial for them.
That's impressive.
Whoa, hold on a minute. Ferrari want me to shoot a commercial. I can do that. I sat down. In fact, I remember Michelle went to the baker's that morning, got fresh croissants. We had some coffee roasting in the building, just so we looked presentable when we're pitching our idea for a commercial to Mr. Ferrari. They come up to our office. They sat there. It was very good. Great meeting. They wanted helicopters. They wanted mini cameras. They wanted fast cars. They wanted sexy people. It was going to be great.
Were they in their crisp Italian suits?
He was in I wouldn't say a crisp Italian suit. He was in a very nice suit. Oh. Anyway, at the end of the meeting, I'm very excited. I'm sort of kicking my business partner under the table. Michelle's raising her eyebrows, going, "This is a good one. Nice Ferrari deal." And then the guy asked me how much money I was prepared to pay to make this commercial for them.
Wait a minute, Mike.
Yes.
I'm a little confused.
I'm confused.
They came to you.
Correct.
They wanted to talk to you about shooting a commercial.
Yes.
Full scale. Helicopters.
All of it.
Boom trucks.
Yeah, everything.
Cast of thousands.
All of it. And then he said, "How much are you willing to pay us to make that commercial?"
Okay, maybe was he having a bad day, an off day?
I don't think so, and I couldn't get my head around what he was trying to say. But basically, at that moment, I took his coffee out of his hand, put it on. If I could have got him to gag up his croissant, I would have done. But I said, "I beg your pardon. No, you come to us to make a commercial for you. It's going to cost." And his response to that was, "Well, if you want our name on your headed notepaper, then you're going to have to think about paying us." So it was great to be associated with Ferrari just for that moment. It was wonderful, but I didn't make the commercial for them.
Yeah,
I think they got somebody else to do it. Good luck to them. I think they did.
I'm sure they could. There's probably a lot of people that want to do something on spec so they can say they did it, but
yeah, like the Royal. It's like the Royal Crescent, the seal of approval. It's like if you go around London and you look at any department store, if it's got this seal of approval from the Queen, like a Royal Crescent that's on the side of the building, it means that the Queen shopped there. The Queen once went in and bought, a toilet roll, and she once went in and got it from Harrods. So now they get the seal of approval on the outside. But do you think Harrods charged the Queen for the toilet roll? I very much doubt it. it. So it's in the same sense as that.
Yeah,
you know.
but a commercial and all of the expense and everything, because there's no guarantee that because you did that, someone else is going to come in, because you've got to look at, okay, we've got to cover the cost of the commercial we just shot and do 5 more at the same level just to pay for it. Yeah. Now we can break even and start moving forward.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
But you know what? That does happen. We had a very well-known celebrity. I'm not going to say their name. They were a movie star, and they came into our hot rod shop years ago, and they wanted a sizable discount because they were famous. And we said, you know what, our guys, they hammer the metal the same for you as they do for Tom over there. And he said, well, I'll go somewhere else. And we said, okay, great. You know, because
bye.
Yeah, you know, and as it was, he did go somewhere else. They did give him a discount. And that shop ended up going out of business, probably because they did things like that. And you know what? That car never made it in a magazine. It never did anything. It went in his collection and never saw the light of day again. So, you know.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Yeah, our celebrity thinks they should get stuff for free.
Yeah.
The only person who should get stuff for free is the Queen. She should get her toilet roll for free.
You think so?
Queen of England.
But she's loaded. She's got tons of money.
Yeah, but that's why.
All those diamond tiaras.
Yeah, that's why, because she's the Queen. Anyway, so 14 car companies own 54 brands. So the next time you go into a dealership, so especially on this Memorial Day weekend, if you've already done that, think about the car you bought and who actually owns it and where that money's going. Do you know, somebody once said to me, and this will be interesting, I'm sure somebody out there will write in and tell us, out of those 14 companies that control those 54 brands, I bet you that 14 companies are owned by 4 companies.
Well, you know what? I bet you could do some research and find out that the boards of directors, there are some people that sit on.
Of course.
You know,
somebody once told me, and I don't know how true this is, but there's only, the world is controlled by like 6 companies. That's about it. You know, there's about 6 companies that actually control the world. When you bore it down and you get down to the nitty gritty, you've got probably, I don't know, J.P. Morgan.
There's Richmond Group, and there's
SmithKline Beecham own pharmaceuticals around the world. 3M, anything to do with everything. 3M seem to own, whether it's the hard disk that's in our cell phone or the tape that you're going to put on your envelope. They own everything. So there's probably 6 companies that own everything.
We just took that step into the Illuminati.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Are we going to start talking paranormal? Maybe
no, we're not. We're going to go back to cars. We're going to go back to cars. We are. I'm sorry. We're going to go back to cars.
No, but what you brought up here is really fun because when you look at it, it is amazing to see. I think Volkswagen and Fiat Chrysler are the two of the most impressive here, and it just opens your eyes because when you were mentioning all those brands, Lamborghini, Porsche, Bentley, Bugatti, Audi, I mean, it's like you see them, and you know what? It says a lot about the marketers and the advertisers because they're distinctly different, and they all have, because I will guarantee you there's some guy somewhere right now on this Memorial Day weekend, and he's saying, oh, my Lamborghini is so much better than your Bugatti. I mean, or vice versa. And they're going, well, they're all part of the same family.
The same thing. Yeah. I bet you there's a common component in all and each and every single one of them. So very interesting. So next time you're sitting in a car showroom buying your car, think about who you're buying your car from because it may surprise you. Now, go back to Car TV for a minute. Because I've got might have another project coming.
Really?
Ooh, yeah, kind of exciting. Lots of people out there like my show Trading Up. Do you like Trading Up? When I went around the world buying and selling cars and trading my way up, might be doing another one.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they going to clone you, Mike?
They are. We were talking about literally fly me home for weekends to the UK to go and make something. But no, very exciting. And I love what I do. I love the craft of TV and delivering a message. And I've got a lot to say. And I'm looking forward to it.
That's very cool.
It's very exciting. Yeah. So keep.
Now, for people who haven't seen that, give us a little taste. What is it? Well,
basically, on those series that I did, which I again made through my own company. I produced and presented those. It was basically I would take a $2,000 car. and sell it for $2,500, buy a car for $2,500 and sell it for $3,500 and trade. Just keep buying and selling and trade my way up. Never spending more than the original $2,000. That was it. And I ended up at the end of the first series with a Porsche 911 convertible, 996, which owed me $2,000. And then on the second series, I ended up with a Ferrari 348.
That's awesome.
On the edge of Lake Como in Italy. And again, it owed me $2,000. I gave both cars away in a competition, and it was an amazing thing to do. But now we're thinking of doing a slightly different twist to it, which I'm very, very excited about. So,
That's exciting.
When I said to you this morning, Brad, my towel's in the air, because of things like this, the TV landscape is changing. What we do is changing. We're doing lots of new things. Me and you are doing this podcast.
Exactly.
And it's really exciting. It's a very exciting time now. But during that period of time, when I've got these cars, these people will need some work, or I might need to do some work on a car that I'm buying. And if I was to do some work, I'm going to reach open my toolbox and I'm going to go and grab the best tool, my best friend in the workshop, to help me. And that would be?
That's our friends at Mechanic. Because Mechanic, they've been supporting this show right from the beginning. Because you know what? These guys, not only do they manufacture great products, they design great products because they're car people. But Mike, they can spot winners because they jumped right on Mike Brewer behind the wheel right away.
And we appreciate that.
We do. And Mechanic has this great detailing rig. Now, they just launched this a couple months back. They launched it with our show, and that is just amazing. It's one of these things that every car guy can use because it provides comfort and organization. It's got sleek design, has a wash bucket, it has little hooks for all of your cleaning and detailing products. It has everything you could want, even the cushion that you sit on, that you put your big fanny on. Well, when you want to kneel down and detail under the car or beside the car, that cushion comes off so that you have a kneeling pad.
And that's the bit that I love about it, because I'm in the garage detailing my 911 this weekend, actually, for a show tomorrow.
Yeah.
And when I'm detailing my 911, I always hate the bit, I'm good at doing the top half of a car. I'm very good at cleaning cars, and I can do the top half really easily. But now I've got to become a middle-aged man. Get into the lower half of the car.
Yeah.
It's become a little bit more tricky. When you have to reach down and do those wheels, it's become a bit of a bind. So, sitting down comfortably on something that's got caster wheels on it and moves around the workshop and gets you down to that level is fantastic. And when you've got all your bits and pieces within easy reach, so they're hanging on the thing you're sitting on, it's genius. It's a genius. You absolutely know with products like this that they were made for people that actually use them on a daily basis. You can see that these are real car people that have scraped their knuckles, scratched their knees, down on their hands and knees. They've all got bad backs, and they thought, you know what, I'm going to come up with a solution. And their solution is genius.
Absolutely. The detailing rig will take 350 pounds, so you know it's made very well. And it's loaded with all the things, even a cup holder for your favorite beverage. It's right there. It accents that grit rack that's inside the removable bucket, and it's a great gift idea. But you know what one of the best things about it is?
Price.
The price. All of that. $89.99 in the U.S.
Get out of here.
That's like giving it away. I mean,
that's about 65 quid in England.
And you know what? If you're in the UK, you can get it at Costco.
No.
Yes.
I love that.
That's so. So go to Costco, or you can go to mycanic.com. That's MyChanic. Go there or find them on social media at Mycanic on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check them out. Mycanic, they're sponsoring us. Support them because you know what? That supports Mike, myself, and the show. Car guy stuff by car guys. Mycanic, mycanic.com.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Right, now, let me take a viewer's question, listener's question, should I say. Listeners' questions, keep them coming, people. You can find us on social media, Mike Brewer, BTW, Behind the Wheel, and keep your questions coming. We have one from a man who, I gather, me and Brad, whenever we think of somebody who's in the southern hemisphere, we always think that they're hanging upside down because they're clinging onto the bottom of the earth. So we've had a question come in from somebody who's got, and I'm going to see what I'm going to do here, Brad. You're going to like this. This guy owns a GM. Ha-ha. See what I did there? See what I did there?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Because this guy's got a Holden. What's his name?
His name's Gary Gamble, and he messaged us on our email at mikebrewerbtw@gmail.
Yep.
And his question was, "Hi, Mike. Need a bit of advice. I have a 2013 Holden V6. Thinking of turbocharging it, plus some running gear mods. Or should I do a full V8 conversion? I want power, but still want the economy of the V6. My car has 90,000 kilometers on it."
Wow. Okay. So, very good car to start with. Holden.
What is that, about 150,000 miles?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's not as much, about 130, what's his, 90,000?
90,000 kilometers.
Kilometers?
Yes.
No, so 90,000 kilometers is about 70 miles, 70,000 miles.
Oh,
the other way
okay.
around.
So, all right. Boy,
Is that right? Did I get that round the right way? I don't know. Somebody will correct us. I don't know. I'm still jet lagged. But listen, a good question.
I'm kilometer lagged.
Kilometre lagged. Good question. And one that we might have a good answer, because there's your email almost says your two options that you've got. So your options that you've got are take your V6, stick a turbo on it. It will go faster, obviously. You can put different exhausts, different headers. You can jet that car. You can chip that car as well. And you can get that car giving you that V8 burble, so you get the soundtrack of a V8, believe it or not, out of a V6. You can definitely get that if you was to tune the exhaust. You would get all the power of a V8, but you might be sipping fuel a little bit less than the V8s because you're only banging away on 6 cylinders instead of 8. So it might give you that little bit of economy that you're chasing. But to be honest with you, I think if you want your car to go faster, you have to throw economy out the window. You have to just forget that, right? That's because a lot of people tend to forget. If you're going to modify your car and make it get down the road a lot quicker, it's going to hurt your wallet a lot more when you're at the petrol station filling it up. It's inevitable. Power comes from the fact that you have to put gas inside the car, and gas is expensive. It's gone up so much here in the States recently. So I don't know what you pay for it in Australia, but I gather it's around the same. So that's one option. You can go keep your V6, tune the exhaust, you can chip the car, modify the car, new headers, new exhaust, put a turbo on it, it'll go rapido. However, lots and lots of Australians, and we know this, me and Brad, do go for that V8 conversion.
Oh, yeah, they love their V8s down there.
They love their V8s. And I think then it comes down to how you want to be perceived in the parking lot. Do you want to turn up at the car show in the parking lot and people say, well, that's pretty cool, you're Holden. What have you got? And you go, I've got a V6 turbo. They might just get... There might be a little bit of a snigger. But if you got a V8 in the parking lot, people might go, oh, nice, you got the V8. And, Australians love that snarling V8 soundtrack. I mean, it comes from their love of Mad Max and the Mad Max films, and those, they took that V8 to an extreme level in that film. They made that car as sexy as hell, and they love that. They absolutely love it.
Now, Mike, along that same lines, financially, you turbocharge that V6 with 90,000 kilometers on it, and you start hot rodding it. Do you have any input on whether maybe just putting in a crate V8 in the long term might be better? Because a motor with a lot of miles on it, we don't know what else is going on internally.
Yeah, I mean, I would LS the car.
Yeah.
I would just go and get a crate LS motor, plop one of those in. They're uber reliable, they're fantastically powerful. You can, once you've got a V8 in the car, V8s are immensely tunable as well. So once you've got to the power you want to be, trust me, within 6 months of owning that power, you'll be going, that's not enough power.
Yeah.
And you're going to want more power. So you are going to be able to tune that LS engine up to a different level. But there's two different price points, isn't there?
Yeah.
One price point is walking into your Motor Factor shop or jumping on the internet and buying a $1,000 turbo. Or the other one is jumping on the internet and buying a $4,000 engine. So you've got two different price points. So either way it goes, you're going to get more bang for your buck. You're going to get a lot faster car. And I think what it will come down to, it's a really difficult question to answer. What it'll come down to is you. Who are your friends? Where'd you go with the car at the weekend? Will you be stigmatized by standing in the car park and having a V6 rather than a V8? And I think it just comes down to that choice.
And recruit some of those friends to help you do it.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be that hard. In fact, I'm going to give you a little tip here. If you're going to take your engine out, you can't subject it to another engine, put another engine in the car, and you're worried about doing it, then here's a good bit of advice. Just turn to the internet. There'll be somebody that's done it before. They would have videoed it, put it up on YouTube, and they will talk you through it step by step. So I use the internet all the time for lessons like that. Please go online and see what they say. Also, it's a good little tip as well, because you can see what they thought of their conversion and whether they thought it was worth doing before you go and ruin your car.
Yeah, forums are great for that, because if somebody else did the Turbo V6 and they're disappointed, then you don't have to invest in it, right?
No, of course not. Of course not. How about that?
We're wrapping up another show.
Yeah, that was fantastic, wasn't it? And thank you very much for your question. Really appreciate it. Again, we want to thank Mechanic. Absolutely awesome. Me and Brad have come to the end of our journey, taking you with us today. We hope you've enjoyed that. We found out about the 54 car brands and the car companies. We bleated on a little bit about the social media world that we live in, but we also had a very good question about should we change a V6 for a V8. So thank you for that. And I told you all about my trip.
You took everyone on your around the world trip.
Yeah, there you go. So that was really good. Really hope you enjoyed it. Remember, we really need you to subscribe to this podcast. There is a reason for this. The reason me and Brad bleat on about subscriptions and giving us some feedback and a review, giving us a 5-star rating. The way that it works on Apple is it's an algorithm that takes a combination of those three things. So a review, a rating, and a subscription will mean that this podcast will remain at the top of the charts. If you don't do that, it can slip down the charts, and then it might just dwindle away and get lost, and we won't do it anymore. But at the moment, we love doing it. So if you like what we're doing, please give us a 5-star rating. Say something nice about it if you like, and make sure you subscribe.
That's right. Thanks, Mike. Hey, you know what? We're going to go do something fun now, probably go to a car show, and then we'll be back next week with another show.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about next week's show. You know what? It's a very exciting show because I'm going to be talking about the royal wedding.
I know.
The one that I missed. I'm going to be talking about the Jaguar E-Type electric that Harry was driving. And lots of other stuff. We'll take another question as well from the audience. Elon Musk has popped up again, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Elon. Talking about social media, Elon. So, hey, everybody, this is Mike Brewer behind the wheel. I'm Brad Fanshaw.
And I'm Mike Brewer. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you all again next week. Bye-bye.
This show brought to you in part by Bond Speed Wheels. Bond Speed Wheels, machined in America for cars, trucks, hot rods, and exotics. We make wheels for your lifestyle. Find us at bondspeedwheels.com.
If you need to get in touch with me or Brad, you can do. Ask us any question you like about motoring issues or a motoring related thing. If you've got something that you want to do to your car and you don't know how to do it, you want to sell your car, you want to advertise your car, you want to buy a car, you need some advice, then please reach out to us. You can find us on Twitter at Mike Brewer BTW. So what we did there? Genius.
Is that for behind the wheel?
It is. There you go.
Wow, how did you come up with that?
It's so good, isn't it? And we'll see you all next week.
This has been a Bond Speed Media production from Circle B Studios. If you like this show, also listen to Shift and Steer, Man Seeks Adventure, and Dixon's Wild Ride. You can subscribe to them on iTunes or visit their websites. If you'd like to reach Bond Speed Media, you can do so at bondspeedmedia@gmail.com.